I mean, what an incredible, arresting line to start with. It's from the author Marin Sardy, and it perfectly sets the stage for what we're about to explore, this deeply personal idea of how someone else's trauma can literally break your body.
So today, we're diving into Marin Sardy's powerful collection of essays, The Edge of Everyday, Sketches of Schizophrenia. And it's a profound look at mental illness, at family, and what it means to grieve.
Now, just to be clear, this isn't some clinical textbook. What we're doing here is walking through the deeply human side of this experience, what it feels like to watch a loved one's reality just fracture, and then have to figure out how to make sense of all the pieces left behind.
So where does Sardy start this story? Well, it's not in the mind, which might surprise you. No, she starts in the body, exploring this idea of how our physical selves hold on to the memory of pain, not just our own pain, but the pain we absorb from others.
She starts with these really specific, physical moments from when she was a kid, like a bicycle handlebar snapping her forearm, or the edge of a trampoline chipping her shin. And these aren't just random stories. They're the first entries in her body's own ledger of pain.
But here's where it gets really fascinating. She realizes that in those moments of her own intense physical pain, her focus actually shifted outward. She wasn't thinking about herself. She was looking at the people caring for her, her mom, her sister. Her own pain somehow became a bridge connecting her to them.
And this quote, wow, it just nails the central idea here. Years later, when her brother died, the grief wasn't just some abstract emotion. It was a physical assault on her body, a trauma so deep it literally reshaped her entire way of being.
So this idea of shared physical trauma, that takes us right to the heart of the story. Her brother Tom's jarring and difficult life with schizophrenia. His story is really the seismic event that fractures her world.
After struggling for years, Tom's life became, well, starkly surreal. He took up shelter under an old boat, living between the tarp and the hull. And this wasn't a metaphor. This was his actual day-to-day reality.
He'd set up this camp for himself in a wooded lot, just trying to find a way to exist in a world that didn't make sense to him anymore.
And just imagine this. His camp was right across the street from their father's house. The proximity of it all made the situation both completely inescapable for the family and, at the same time, totally impossible to comprehend. I mean, how do you even process that?
And Sardy just captures this feeling perfectly, this disorienting, almost vertigo-like sense of trying to find your footing when reality just doesn't follow the rules you thought you knew. You know, in the wake of something terrible, something chaotic, we have this deep, deep human need to find a reason why, right? There's this powerful urge to find meaning, to find a pattern or a symbol, anything to make sense of what feels senseless. So she tells this story about an encounter she had. She's out in this remote canyon, all alone, and she comes across this raven with a broken wing, a real living creature suffering right there in front of her.
And this is such a fascinating point she makes. She highlights this real tension. In our dreams, right? Everything feels like a clue, a symbol you're supposed to decipher. But in real life, sometimes a dying bird is just a dying bird. It refuses to be turned into a tidy metaphor for our own pain.
So, if you can't just slap a metaphor on it, what do? How do you even begin to understand a void, an absence? Sardy dives right into this idea of nothingness after her brother is gone, and she really grapples with it.
She takes this one word, nix, and just unpacks it. And in its history, she finds all these layers that capture the complexity of what she's feeling. It's not just nothing. It's a shape-shifting water spirit. It's Nyx, the primordial goddess of night, the mother of death itself. It's so much more.
After his cremation, she's hit with this whole new kind of shock. The idea that the physical parts of a person, his nose, his teeth, could simply stop existing. It was such a basic, obvious fact that her mind just couldn't wrap itself around it.
And this leads her to this incredible, kind of paradoxical idea. The hole that's left behind, it's not empty. It actually becomes a thing in itself, a real, tangible presence. It's not nothing, it's a something, this palpable field of what's gone.
So where does all this leave us? Well, the end of this journey isn't about finding some neat answer. It's about looking at what's left. And surprisingly, it's about what remains. It's about happiness.
She lists all these unanswerable questions she wishes she could ask her brother about his final moments, but then she completely shifts gears. It stops being about what she wants to ask him and becomes about what she desperately wishes she could tell him.
And her realization it's just so powerful. That happiness, it wasn't in the big highlight reel moments of her life. It was hiding in all the small, unexamined gaps in between. You know, the drive home from school with the radio on. Just the simple, everyday fabric of the past.
And this is really the final, powerful takeaway she leaves us with. It's a total redefinition of happiness. It's not some prize you have to chase or achieve. It's quiet. It's constant. It's right there, at the edge of every single day, just hoping we'll notice it.